Yo, what's up, everyone? Today I'm going to be showing you how to create content that sells for you on autopilot. And within this video, we're going to be talking about the 4 different content pillars that you should be focusing on if you want to create content that sells for you on autopilot. So, with that being said, everyone, my name is Ty Smith. I run a coaching business where I essentially help other coaches and consultants create a personal brand and supercharge it using ads to help them close more high ticket deals at a higher frequency with leads that are warmed up, educated, and ready to go and to buy their services. So, with that being said, today we're going to be going over some of the four content pillars that you need when creating content that will help you sell on autopilot. So, with that being said, let's get right into this video. So, the number one thing before we get into the 4 content pillars is everything when it comes to building your personal brand and when it comes to creating content that helps you sell. Everything always comes down to you and your positioning. And we're going to touch on that in these bullet points here. So, the number one thing that you must do before you start even creating content is understand this. You need to identify the true pain points of your audience and make the content positioning yourself as the solution to the pain. And it's very important. And we're going to talk about how to go about finding those true pain points that your audience is facing and how to really like gear that into the messaging of your videos and so forth. So with that being said, you never want to guess what they want. You want to know what your audience wants. And you really, really want to touch and hit on those key pain points when doing so. So with that being said, a great way for you to go out and find content ideas or to find things that your potential niche like audience is like looking for is you can go to your favorite your favorite influencer or content creator and go look at their YouTube videos. Go look at what are the questions that are being asked inside of the comments of their videos. Look at their most popular video. Why is that video the most popular out of all the other videos that they have? Figure out like what solution are they providing inside of that video that is resonating so well with those people, and that is a great way for you to figure out like some quick solutions to find what those pain points are so that you can start positioning your videos and the content that you make around those things that your audience is asking for. And that is a really great way to go about trying to find that. So with that being said, you need to find 5 to 10 other people that are within your space. Go to their YouTube channels and find what are their top videos, why are they the most popular, and what's resonating within that video, and what solution are they providing to your audience within that. And then go through, look at the YouTube comments, look at like what people are saying, and like figure out what people are truly asking for, what are they truly struggling with, and that can give you a great foundation of first to start finding out what your audience wants so that you can start creating that content for them. Another ways to go about this is also forums, like I already said, comment sections. This doesn't also always have to just be YouTube comment sections, but go to their Instagram, look at the questions that they're being asked on their stories, look at the questions that they're being asked under their posts. Those are great ways to figure out what people are actively struggling with and what they need and what they're trying to solve. And that gives you a great foundation to lay what you're going to be making your content on and about from that point. The next thing that's really important when it comes to your positioning and like how you present the information inside of your videos is, and also to get them to want to come to you to buy your services or whatever your offer is you want to present the what and the why they should do something, and really hit on why the what and the why are important, so that they naturally seek the how, which is going to be your product or your offer. So what I mean by this is you want to, so for instance, with my audience, I have a video that's going pretty popular right now, and I'll link that up in the top right hand corner in the info card. But it's the Instagram ad funnel essentially, and the reason I show them the what and the why I show them what it is. So it's the Instagram omnipresent ad funnel. I show them why it's important. It's important because it allows them to get more clients, get more coaching clients or consulting clients, and help them close at a higher rate because they're talking to people that are already qualified and understand who they are, and they're not doing any like cold selling or using any other outdated tactics like cold outreach or anything like that. I show them why it's important that they use this funnel and how it can be beneficial to them over time. And simply by just focusing on that and focusing on the framework of what it is that makes that funnel important, it's going to naturally cause them to seek the how, which people hit me up all the time off of just that video by itself, because they're wondering how do, okay, so I understand what it is, I understand why I should do it, but how do I, what are the little details that I need to learn to be able to actually make this funnel effective and to make it work for me. And that's the reason why they reach out to me, end up booking a call and wanting to work with me, is because I'm presenting the what and the why, but holding off on the how of the things and letting that be the reason why they come to me to buy my offer. So again, just to reiterate on this point, focus on the what and the why they should do something, and they will naturally seek the how. And if you do this same, use that same formula in every single video that you make, people will always be constantly contacting you and hitting you up to figure out the how. And then that's when you sell them on your offer or your service. Then from there, this is also another really important one. It's kind of cliche, as you've probably hear this a lot, but it's be yourself. Make content that is uniquely you. Talk about your struggles, share your stories, and your fuck ups. Sometimes we're all not perfect individuals, so when you're making your content, make it unique to you. Don't try to be like anybody else. Don't try to talk like anyone else. Whatever is most natural to you is what people will fall in love with, and will be the primary reason why they choose to work with you over the thousands of other people that are on the internet trying to sell them something similar or the same thing. They're going to buy from you because they like you. They're going to buy from you because they want to work with you. They like your personality. They like who you are as a person. So be whoever you are and be it in the most natural way possible. Don't try to front like you're something that you're not. Just be yourself and let people fall in love with you so that they come to you to work with you because they want to work with you. That's the number one determining thing that makes you and separates you from the rest of the market, is your personal brand and just being who you are. That's what's going to get people to want to work with you over everything. So now, with that being said, we're going to get into the four content pillars that you should be focusing on if you want to create content that's going to sell for you on autopilot. I just wanted to first, go over you and your positioning first, so that you have a solid foundation on the framework in which you should be creating your content. And now I'm going to give you like the actual pillars of which you can make content around once you have these things that we just mentioned solid. So this is all focusing on your long form content. So long form content is obviously, YouTube videos like this one, a podcast, a newsletter, or whatever that can obviously for short form content be broken down into smaller stuff, which we're going to get into shortly. But these are the four different things that you can focus on making content around to have content, to have the content sell for you basically on autopilot. When you add these four different pillars of content into your content strategy, it will allow you to sell so much more and have to do a lot less selling when you hop on these calls with your potential clients and people that want to work with you if you make all of your content around these things that I'm about to discuss right now. So first one is you want to make content around problems that they want to solve or things that are related to their dream goal. So, like I said, when we were talking about the YouTube videos and the comment sections and the forums and everything like that, make videos around those problems that they actually need, that they're actually trying to actively figure out. That is one great way to go about making a lot of content, is just creating content that helps give them a new mindset, a new framework on how to think about things. And if you gear all of your content around that, that will provide immense value to them, and they'll look at you as obviously the expert that they'll eventually want to come to work together with. So, and then also you want to make content around what their dream goal is. And when we touch on this, when you're making content that's focused around their dream goal and what it is that they want to do in life, you got to think deeper than just like, okay, they don't want, for instance, for me, my type of client just doesn't want a funnel, this magical funnel that I could provide to them. That's not what they want. They want the funnel because the funnel is going to allow them to be able to go off and live the life that they want to live, to travel to the places that they want to travel so that they can have mental, time, financial, and geographical freedom. That's the reason why they want the funnel, really. And that's how you should position when you're thinking about what's the real goal or what's the real dream of my ideal client? Not just my service or whatever it is that I'm offering to them to make them want to buy from me, but what is their actual dream? What is it that they actually want? And then position your messaging when you're talking to them in the way of like, hey, if you do this thing that I'm trying to show you, you can have X, Y, and Z for whatever it is that their goal is. Rather that be them traveling the world, rather that be them spending more time with their family because they're making a lot more money, or rather that be them, just having a lot more time freedom because they have the money to go off and do whatever it is that they want to do. Those are just some examples, and you can obviously think a lot more deeper within that when you start making your content. But that all goes into the research section. Really understand what it is that your ideal client wants and the reason why they want it, and then start making content around that. The second powerful piece of content, the second pillar, is case studies and then proof of concept. So essentially, all you're doing inside of this can be a client interview. This can be you showing that whatever it is that you're trying to sell obviously works and other people are using it and can vouch for it. And even if you don't have other people that can vouch for it, you can show a case study of yourself, or who, like, yeah, you can show a case study on how this specific thing worked for you and how it can potentially work for the person that is seeking more information on it. So if you don't have any case studies, use yourself as the case study and make content specifically around how you had a problem and you were able to solve it for yourself, and this is how you can solve it for other people. And then proof of concept is just essentially just it's the same thing, but it's just showing more so the framework or the back end of what of how everything works without going into the details of setting everything up. It's just showing that, hey, this works and this is how I'm using it to effectively get results for whatever that result is, essentially. So that is pillar number two. Pillar number three is objection handling / belief shifting content. So objection handling content is essentially, and how you can collect a bunch of objection handling content. If you're consistently getting on sales calls, you'll quickly start to garner a bunch of different objections that people have, and you'll be able to use those objections and turn it into content. Essentially, say if you have someone that hops onto a phone call or hops onto a sales call with you, and you start getting a bunch of pricing objections about whatever it is that your offer is. The next piece of content that you can make long form, whether it be a YouTube video, a podcast, or a newsletter, can be all based around your can all be based around like the pricing, or it can all be based around whatever that objection is that you ended up getting on that sales call, to kind of have that be the thing that they watch before they even hop on that sales call with you. So then they're like, okay, that handled that objection. And the more content that you make like this, and people become obsessed with you, and they start watching all of your videos and consuming all of your podcasts and your newsletters and everything like that, and they start to get filled up with all of that information, you're only getting them geared up even more to want to automatically, just like when they hop on that call with you or that sales call with you, to want to buy from you, because you're making content on things that would bring their guard down a lot more by you just making that content around things that they may have an objection about on the sales call. So the best way, like I said again, to get to make objection handling content is simply by having more sales calls. And if you're not having more sales calls, just like again, go ahead and start doing research. Start figuring out what are things that people may potentially have issues with, or it may be a hindrance to get them to want to work with you. Figure out what those things are, figure out what those questions are, and then start making content around that. The second half of this third pillar is also like belief shifting content. And what I mean by this, for instance, like I am a big advocate for personal brand and using ads to help you scale that and get more people at a higher rate than you would just by doing it organically or by doing cold outreach or whatever. So essentially, belief shifting content, like if I'm trying to convince someone that is doing cold outreach, I would make a video saying like, hey, this is why cold outreach doesn't work, this is why it's not effective, here's a new solution to that, to how you can get a lot more out of your efforts, out of your daily efforts, by using a personal brand and then using ads to supercharge it to get right in front of your ideal target prospects and start closing deals at a higher percentage rate, because you're creating a brand and trust, and you're using ads to get in front of people that will allow you to become a better that will allow you to close more people at a higher rate, essentially. So, with the belief shifting content, all you're doing is you're taking a belief that they currently have, like for someone that's obsessed with doing cold outreach and believe that's the way, you're then just showing them a new solution to the problem that they're having if cold outreach is not working for them or if it's just not becoming as effective. You're just positioning your offer or your product as the new thing that can actually help them and get them better results in either a quicker amount of time or for less money or for whatever way you want to position it. That's essentially what belief shifting content is. You're just taking an idea that they may believe in so wholeheartedly, and then you're positioning your offer, your service, or even your brand as the new way to start believing in the new way that you're trying to get them to go down. So that's what belief shifting content is, and that's the third pillar. The last pillar is personal touch content, and all this essentially is you speaking to your ideal um, target audience just by being yourself. This has to do with like the last thing that we touched on up here, which is just being yourself. You want to make content that's uniquely you. So with personal touch content, all you're doing is you're just talking about the struggles that you had, the fuck ups that you had, the money that you've lost, the things that you went through to build up to become the person or the entrepreneur that you are. That's all personal touch content is. It's just sharing personal stories. It's sharing your journey and getting them more connected and letting them know that you're a human just like them and just not some random person that's on the internet just posting stuff. By adding that personal touch content, it builds a deeper trust with the audience that is consuming your content because it lets them know that you're not some perfect like guru that's just like never does any wrong or never has any mistakes or is never fucked up or anything like that. So with personal touch content, all you're doing is simply, and it can just be a simple video. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It can just be you talking to your iPhone or talking onto your computer camera and just being like, hey, this is what I learned from this situation. This is what I took away from this situation and so forth. And all you're doing is just sitting there raw, uncut, just being like, hey, these are the things that I went through and this is what I did to fix the scenario that I was in to become a better person. And that's essentially all personal touch content is. It's just you positioning yourself and letting people know that you're human and then talking about the struggles that you went through, the things that you've learned, and how you overcame those things over time. So those are the four pillars. Now this is for long form content. The good thing about long form content is that it's the best because once you make the long form content, it's really easy to break that long form piece of content multiple pieces into multiple pieces of short form content. So all you're doing with long form content is you're consolidating it. You're just taking that big idea or that big concept that you had, and then you're depending on like which way that you want to go about it, you're just taking that content and you're breaking it down into smaller digestible pieces of content, rather that be through reels, TikToks, your stories, posts, carousels, tweets, whatever. You're just taking that big concept and you're breaking it down into smaller pieces. So with that being said, you can take all of these first three pillars are great for just regular posts and things like that. Of course you can use personal touch content inside of your regular posts as well, but these are three great things to fill a lot of your regular content with, a lot of your short form content with, which is problem content. And you can all condense this into a tweet, a thread, a reel, a TikTok, whatever, and use all of these three different pillars to essentially help you break that down into different content for posts, reels, carousels, and tweets. And then personal touch content for like stories and stuff like that on Instagram, and other platforms have their own version of that as well. You can just use your stories as a way um, to interact and engage with your audience a little bit more on a personal level. Let them know that you're human. You know, you can do Q&As, you can do lives, you can do ask them questions through your story. Let them know about your routine. Let them know like what do you do in the morning when you wake up. What are your other hobbies? What are other things that make you human other than just you always promoting or pushing out your business all the time? So that's essentially what you can use for personal touch content, and then stories. And of course, um, nothing here is like, is like a solid rule. All of these things, you can combine all of these things in many different ways. But once you, like I said earlier, once you have your positioning and your messaging right, all of these things become extremely easy to create, because you just have a solid roadmap on the type of content that you got to create once you understand the problems and the true pain points of the people that you're trying to work with over time. So um, that is pretty much it. Again, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope that you found some immense value out of it. And yeah, I got a lot more content coming like this. If you guys have not already, definitely check out the Instagram ad funnel. It's an amazing funnel if you are a coach, consultant, or even an agency owner making the transition to a coach or consultant, and you want to generate and get more high quality leads coming into your business and closing at a higher percentage rate. Definitely go ahead and check out that video. And if you guys ever do want to work with me personally, you can book a free consultation down with me below. And, we can talk about you potentially becoming a part of my one-on-one coaching program when it comes to personal brand and using ads to help you supercharge that and so forth. So that being said, my name is Ty Smith. Thank you guys so much. Make sure to leave this video with a like and subscribe if you want more content like this. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.